leave it to the professionals.
Blessed by Bundy, blah, blah, blah.
Started off with a bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
Surfing on the web and I'm shooting at 3. I've been goated when I got my G. I'm an alien, boy, from a different planet, yeah. So I got my drink, I'm riding in the 1920s Model T Ford. Call her Era Lord. Call me Levi, playing on the keys, boy. And I'm about to put my gloves on. If I said it, then I meant that. Yeah, I like that one, I'm about to get that. Crash that whip for the drumsticks, whiplash. I'm about to get them all. Are you with that? In a white boat, surrounded by blue. I want one, but I got a cop too. I wanna fly high in the sky, arms out wide, trying to soar from a bird's eye view. I'm on fire, Ricky, Bobby, cracking the pavement, Whitney, Bobby. I'm a Saki bomb, Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Bruce Wayne been a dog, and I keep it 101, cause I'm feeling kinda spotty. You sipping on some rock and I'm sipping on octane. The only thing around my neck is the
Started off with a
blockchain.
bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
NFT, Twitter, blockchain. Seeing with the ghosts and we ballin' like the Brown James. Crypto. We can make a trade, get the memo. Reviews not falling for the FOMO. Listening to coffee with Captain. You know we worldwide, they loco. I ain't never gonna stop rapping. Orlando, yeah, we working magic. We rocking Ethereum entities. I just went and caught me a half base. Man, I got a shout out
Started
to
off with a
Body.
bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
Breaking the mood to choose one, but they got knowledge to move, son. I'm shocking in shades with my brother in shoes. Yeah, them blues is coming. Even though it's hard to pick, eeny, mighty, mo, soda on the mix, no biting lips, it's time to go. Index number 1, no thumbs up, you gotta scroll. Looking at the ghost in studio, it's time to go. Had a helmet on by myself until I met a mask that wanted to have a face off. Had to bring my chainsaw, full tank of gas in the ride with my brakes off. I'm A1, but a different kind of steak sauce.
Welcome to Coffee with Captain, powered by ApeCoin, where we dive into all things crypto, NFTs, Web3, and cutting-edge technology. Remember, nothing here is financial advice. Early-stage tech can be exceptionally volatile and risky. So grab your coffee and join Cap and Steve for today's conversation.
Welcome to the future.
Welcome to Coffee with Captain GM. Thanks so much for joining us. If you haven't done so, do us a favor, drop us a GM in the chat down below. Then head up top, smash that like, repost, and bookmark on the day space. We greatly appreciate it. It warms up the algo and does us a solid. While you're up there, smash the reminder for the shows the rest of this week on that carousel, especially Thursday. It's show 1000. We're giving away nearly, it's over 5K and more coming in. Some fun prizes in addition to tokens, some fun physical prizes to our surprise are going to be given away courtesy of some sponsors on Thursday. So don't miss that show. Go smash the reminder. And again, while you're up there, if you want to join the YouTube chat, that's live, as well as the abstract chat. We're live on Steve's abstract today. Appreciate all the support, warming up the room. And also, not only that, you want to make sure that you've claimed our badge this week. That's op.xyz/claim. Just one badge for this week. The code is 1000. Go to op.xyz/claim. Type in code 1000. It's not part of this raffle, but again, just as you don't want to miss the 1000th show, you're going to make sure you have that 1000th badge for future reference. Go get that claim now as we warm things up, and we'll get things kicked off here in a second. As always, I'm Cap, my co-host Steve. No financial advice in this show. Crypto is risky, NFTs are risky. Meme coins exceptionally risky. Go to zero to moment's notice. Please don't put any money in. You can't afford to lose. None of Steve and I hold tokens. We'll talk about from time to time. We are not financial advisors. Certainly not your financial advisor. Don't join us for that. Just join us for some fun, some information, education along the way. GM, Steve, how you doing, sir?
GM doing all right. Got absolutely slaughtered on a liquidity pool yesterday. So one of those reasons you talk about making sure you do your own research, you pay attention, you don't take things as financial advice. I had a hype plasma pool overnight. Wasn't like huge money because I don't just have huge money to deploy, but slid from hype all the way
all
to
in plasma this morning and plasma down.
plasma dumped. And I rebalanced and re-put out and just took the loss because I'm, getting those Project X points. I wanted to rebalance at OpenSea, but probably should have just held there, but definitely hurting this morning on that one. So it's one of those ones that's a great example of, being careful on those things. It felt like plasma was trading pretty well, and then all of a sudden it just got eviscerated. So
do we know? I saw it got crushed. What led to this plasma sell-off? Do we know?
I don't know. No idea. Felt like it was pretty good going with hype for a while there. And so, just a good reason. It's like, if I stick to my guns and I took less yield in like an ETH hype pool, I would be sitting with more money this morning, but definitely got hammered on that one. So not a great way to start the day to wake up and see those numbers, but that's part of the risk. It's part of knew what I was doing. So just figuring out how to do this whole thing. And part of the price of losing, part of the price of learning is losing at times. So we learn, we move, and we make it work.
Down 30% from as high as 16% on the day is XPL. A little bit of bounce maybe at the bottom here, but seeing some chart orders saying it's at a critical this 105 to 110 is a critical support point. So we will see.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. But no, just a favor, give us a like, a retweet, a comment on the room. That's sort of my morning. How's your morning going?
Good, man. I actually was introduced yesterday. I mean, not introduced. I'd had it before. But yesterday was the first time I had really good. And this is another one of the words I pronounce horribly. And I think I actually consciously think how I'm pronouncing it, which makes it even worse. Had I just said it, I probably would have been fine. But cacao, am I saying that right? Cacao,
yeah.
Like the original form of chocolate before it's all hyper processed. Cacao, right?
I think so.
So fresh cacao, like a cacao drink. Have you ever had this?
No, I don't think so.
So I had someone. I've got only a little bit left. You can see how like it's like kind of like thick coats the cup here. So I had this thing was like maybe like this full yesterday, and really like if you've had like real cacao, it's like strong. It's a pretty I don't know how to describe the taste. Tart's not it, but anyways,
bitter.
It was like, what's that?
It's bitter, right? Isn't it really bitter?
Exactly. So it was good but bitter, and they're like, guys, like, you probably gonna drink half of that. They normally serve it a shot. He hooked me up with one to like try for the first time. He's like, probably drink about half of it unless you're like really need a lot of energy. So I did, and I was like, oh, that's gonna go good. And I poured the rest of it in my coffee this morning. And yeah, I'm big fan. So it is definitely bitter straight, but a great mix in the coffee. But yeah, it was a new introduction for me. So nice start to the day with a little cacao in my coffee, and good workout this morning. So feeling good heading into Tuesday. I had a much smaller LP on that same hype plasma. So I knew the sell off there. I too found a small pool that was all in XPL this morning, but hit good on. It was good Monday night for me in the fantasy sports street. Hit a few. I've been running pretty good. I shared. I almost had a really good day on Sunday. Missed a few player prop parlays by like one. Not only did AJ Brown not do anything, it hurts the Eagles didn't even complete a single pass in the second half in that win, which is kind of wild. But hit a 5 for 5 last night, so some pretty good returns there. And my high stakes fantasy league, I was trailing by like 40 points heading into Monday night. I had Jamar Chase going against Chase Brown. Jamar Chase did nothing, but I also had my favorite fantasy quarterback, Justin Fields, and RJ Harvey ended up winning by just a few. Came back from 40 down to get the big dub, much needed dub as that team wasn't off to the greatest start. So yeah, good finish to a good fantasy week. And just put a both Kalshi and Poly market bet this morning that the government will not shut down by October 1st. Was paying out 80% say yes. I say they get something done today. So we'll see. In either way, I celebrate because September's over and Uptober begins. We're 24 hours, less than 24 hours away from Uptober. So
you feel strongly about Uptober coming through. It's feels like we've been chopping around for a really, really long time. It feels like on the Bitcoin side, ETH's been down a little bit. Obviously Uptober has a nice ring to it. Of course, sell in May and go away. That rhyme didn't work too well for people either. So who knows if Uptober's coming, but I don't know. Like I'm like still excited about directionally where we're going, but I find myself less like I'm just waiting for something to happen. Yeah, because I feel like we just haven't had it yet. And so, we obviously sent, at this point, 4 or 5 months ago, right? At this point, like it's been a while. I have to check the actual chart because I know like time is always kind of weird in this space. But Bitcoin's been range trading just for, God, probably at least 3 months. Yeah, 3 months ago we were at, in the 107, 108 range. And we basically bounced all the way up to that all-time high at the 125 or whatever. And we just bounced around. Obviously Bitcoin up a ton in a year, but honestly, it hit 106 on December 16th. I guess it dipped back down. So yeah, probably about like, God, do you remember Bitcoin dipping to 76K in April? So I guess it's been like May, June, July, August, September. So May, June, July, August. So not quite 6 months. About 5 months we've been range trading, it feels like. And I'm just waiting for something to happen. It just doesn't feel, S&P keeps hitting all-time highs, keeps doing pretty well. And, ETH jumps up, then jumps back down. So I keep waiting for something to happen. I don't know. Like ETH, Bitcoin, majors, Solana, et cetera. I just feel like they're bouncing around a lot. So I don't know. Chopping. I'm not sure I'm confident in October.
Oh, I'm confident. I just don't think it's going to be October 1st. I agree with Mayhem. Probably more middle to end, and hopefully that leads to a strong November, at least part of December. But yeah, I think we're fine. It just
why? Like why? Give me the reason. Because like I'm just like I feel like it should be happening, but we saw some net outflows in the past couple of weeks in the ETFs. The sort of those digital asset treasury companies don't seem to be doing as hot anymore. They're sort of, they're not necessarily meeting the right fitness standards, continue to buy in crypto. Saylor's diluting his shareholders. So I don't know anybody holds. I don't know. Somebody smarter than me would have to explain why I hold MicroStrategy over Bitcoin ETF. I'm trying to like, what is the catalyst in the next, especially like I see that like very specific, like you mentioned with Mayhem, like beginning of October will be red, the middle and end it will rebound. Why? Like what is our reasoning? Like what is our why? We're just feeling it in our plums. What's the reasoning?
Yep. Been chopping for a while, and I don't think we're anywhere near being done this cycle. Q4 is usually a good one, specifically October. And we've got 2 more rate cuts this year. It's like people like forget about rate cuts until we're like a week out. It's like it's going to happen. We're getting at least 2 more rate cuts, and where last ones were priced in, nothing's happened since. So I don't think we've had either of the next 2 rate cuts priced into the current market. And I think as we start getting closer to, what did I say, October 28th, I think that starts getting priced in, and then I think the rate cuts hit, and then we send. I could be wrong, but that's. I also don't think that while the digital asset treasury companies, like some of the fringe ones, are they like losing their motion? Are they kind of like falling off? Maybe. But if you look at the actual, like what they've been doing, they're still buying. Just in the last 30 days, Bitmine up 49% in their ETH holdings. SBAT up 5% in their ETH holdings. Ether Machine up 43% in their ETH holdings. The only one that's sold or is down is the Ethereum Foundation, down 3.4%. Although I think that's just maybe a little dip in ETH. I know they sold here recently, but I don't think it's part of this sell-off. And Tom Lee's on record. He wants 5% of ETH holdings, so he's at 44% of the target. SBAT is at 5% of their target of ETH supply. Ether Machines at 10% of their ETH, or 4% of their target of ETH supply. Like, it's more than just these three, but these three are vested a hell of a lot more than myself. They're collectively over $11 billion deep into, I'm sorry, over 13, 14, $15 billion deep in ETH, and they continue to buy. And they're not even remotely close. I mean, Bitmine is apparently almost halfway to their target. I don't think they're going to stop in Q4. I think they continue to buy, and I think markets are just going to collectively. At the end of the day, my thesis is simple. I don't think the cycle's over. That's it. And I don't think we're going to chop the rest of the cycle. I think it's more likely we see a nice run up, some crazy days in Q4 than in Q1. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, because
maybe it's smooth brain, maybe not, but yeah, I don't think the cycle's over. I think we got a long ways to go, and these major funds that do much more research, have much better quants than myself, they're still buying.
Yeah, I think it's. I'm looking at it. I'm trying to do the quick math in my head. I think in the past week, $800 million in net outflows on ETH ETFs, as an example. Like, just seeing the numbers, in that it's in cash, obviously not ETH, but like seeing stuff like that. And look, your thesis is as good as any, because nobody ever knows anything around here. Like I said, I mean, consensus has been wrong consistently. Consensus going into Jackson Hole was bad, and then it was good, and then it was, oh my God, we're up only, and then a few days later it was bad, and then going into rate cuts, we were going to send, and then it was sort of like a little bit of a blip, and then we kind of pulled back. So I don't know. I find myself feeling, I can't explain it. It might just be something in my gut. I think I'm off. Like I mentioned, my food cheat day extended past a day into probably a couple of days, which is never a good thing. And so I wonder if the food's affecting my mood. But I'm definitely like feeling a little more bearish on a lot of things. I mean, not just this. I mean, I think, like, look, Kinetics airdrop's going to happen. I'm not going to get anything from that because I'm just like completely, not great on Kinetic. I have like 15K points or something. It's just, whatever it is. It's basically over for me on Kinetic. I'm going to get like a sandwich from that. But like, we know we're going to at least 2 seasons of OpenSea before the sea airdrop. Project X said, let us cook for a few months. Abstract sounds like it's not happening this year. MetaMask was going to have an airdrop sooner than you think, and it's been radio silence. Mega ETH, we haven't really heard anything on when it comes to the airdrop. I'm just wondering, like, with some of these ones, I know we got Meteora coming, but I think, like a lot of people, those whales are going to eat in Meteora. But if you weren't trading and LPing Trump coin and getting thousands of dollars in fees in January, you're probably not going to eat when season 2 ends in Meteora. So I'm wondering about airdrop season a little bit right now, and starting to say, like, okay, like, if we're hearing abstracts are going to happen this year, and OpenSea's having at least 2 seasons, and we haven't heard anything from Mega ETH, and MetaMask was, came and went, and Project X seems like it's going to be a while, and I know a lot of people are big on that one, and who knows if we're getting another Hyperliquid one, and I don't know. I wonder.
It sounds just like personal things that you're vested in aren't happening or delayed or down a little bit.
I don't think everyone's invested in OpenSea and MetaMask. Like, let's be like, and those are 3 pretty big ones.
Sure, but no one's invested in MetaMask. It literally just got announced like last week.
He said sooner than you think. He said it's coming soon. Like that
doesn't mean tomorrow. And OpenSea is like, it's still happening. Like, no, I don't think, like, we knew, like, part of my gripe was like, just tell us the thing already. Like, what are you going to announce in October? It's like, it's coming.
We have the OpenSea announcement in like a week or so, a couple weeks, right?
Like, these are all like short-term things. Like, we got to, like, not to be cheesy, but we got to zoom out a little bit. And per Be Epic in the chat, it's like 500 billion just came out of the market to pay debt per RAN. I haven't looked into that, but people have to capitulate to go higher. The only way for the U.S. to pay down debt is via crypto and stables. I think all the stuff you just rattled off, like airdrop stuff, semi stuff, like it's most of us are thinking that's happening in Q4. Q4 starts tomorrow. Like some may fall over into Q1, but one of like if OpenSea actually delivers, that stimmy could be massive for the space. My expectations are in check for that stimmy. I don't think it's going to be. I think it'll be somewhat of a letdown. But in addition to their airdrop, they've got their reward seasons, which aren't even tied to their C token. Allegedly, it's just rewards. I think all that, like everything that's all big, and it could have stimmy impacts. It could have positive impacts on our niche corner of the internet. But I don't think any of those things has any bearing on the price of Bitcoin or Ethereum.
No, I mean it's just a combo of things. So they're two independent thoughts. Independent thought one is we've been shopping for 5 months and no positive catalyst has moved us upward when we thought they were coming. And generally speaking, it just doesn't feel like I haven't felt like it's going to move. And maybe that's a good bottom signal there. But like we've had this like chopping feeling.
But ETH is up triple digits in the last 5 months. It's up over 100%. Like that's insane.
Yeah, it's just it's well, I mean, ETH's been up, ETH's been down. Obviously, ETH's done well with the because I'm looking at the number. ETH is way up in that period of time.
In June, it was like 2,400 in June.
Yeah, ETH's up, but like I guess my point is like we've been chopping for a little bit here in general, and then Bitcoin's been chopping for this period of time. Just doesn't feel to me like we have hit a I don't know, like does it like feels like every time we get any momentum, we have these violent pullbacks and we don't necessarily get very much further. I mean, Solana's done really well in the past 3 months too. So it's mostly just been Bitcoin's been a stable coin for the past 5 months. And then it's been a couple of months of chop when it felt like we were getting there. It's just two independent thoughts of like, are we going to see this run up or not? Which is like the thing that I keep waiting to happen and I'm getting impatient. And then number two is, as we're hearing these delays, like people saying abstract TGE not happening this year, when you hear that, and when you know that, OpenSea's like update coming soon, which we will get, but then you know that they said there's going to be at least 2 seasons of the boxes. So that means that TGE probably isn't happening till at least 2 seasons, unless that's just a independent thing that doesn't happen. It's more so just as I look at some of these, and like I said, like a lot of people are playing Project X that I know, a lot of smart money, and they were saying, when's it coming down? Phonics is saying when airdrop all the time. And so I don't know. I wonder. And again, MetaMask said it, but they're like, it's coming sooner than you think. They came out the gate and said big. So I don't know when some of these stimmies are coming. Number one, that's one thought. And I wonder if some of them are going to get delayed into next year. And then the second thought is I'm waiting for a catalyst because rate cuts haven't been it a couple of times in a row now.
They have though. Like
we like blipped up and then dumped on 2 separate rate cuts, one the anticipation of one and one on the rate cut. Like both of those were not catalysts to move up. The Jackson Hole announcement.
I think part of the ETH run up was due to Jackson Hole, was due to the rate cuts. I think that played a big part in ETH's the shift in the macro. I think played a part in ETH's run up.
Oh, I think ETH was entirely around the story and the narrative and people like Tom Lee and the ETF story that followed that with him stacking. Like I think you could probably correlate it directly to sort of those ETH strategic reserves. So I think the strategic reserves, and I think ETH's a good argument comparatively to Bitcoin, which to your point, ETH was, I make this point sometimes on the timeline and it's worth making to myself that ETH was like dead in April. So for sure, ETH has shot up.
And Bitcoin performing a hell of a lot better than it did in 21 when we were, tripping over ourselves in a bull market. Like look at I think go back and look at the chart, look at the ETH chart, look at the Bitcoin chart from 2021, and you'll feel a lot better about where we are today. Like it's the cycles. Like I think the 4-year cycle's over, but so far it's playing out pretty similar. It's just better. Like this is 2021, April, May. We topped in April. We went down then a full 100% pull down to lows of below 30 in July. We chopped, we ran up a little bit, then pulled back again, end of September. And then look what happened when Uptober hit. Like maybe it is just a meme, maybe it doesn't happen again, but like the current chart looks a hell of a lot better than 2021 chart.
Hope it does. I hope it does. Because I am hoping.
It's just like we forgot, like we forget still, we forget what happened last fourth quarter. ETH was ETH and Bitcoin both had huge run-ups in December. Like Q4 is good. And the fact that we're going to get, I think it's not priced in, but I think it is programmed that we get 2 rate cuts in Q4. And I think it's very much in range that we see similar price action. Now, the key is it won't last forever. And if it does happen, you probably need to start peeling some off the top before the tax loss harvesting hits, because you can see it ran up in November and then there was the sell-off hit in December. So I don't know how it plays out. I don't think the cycle is anywhere near ending. All those stimmies that you mentioned haven't hit yet, and they're still coming. Like, they've not said they're canceling them. Like, it's likely that a lot of them still hit in Q4, and the ones that don't hit in Q4 probably drag over and they hit in Q1.
I hope so. I just woke up this morning not feeling good looking at the charts in general. I
think it's emotional trading. I think it's the LP did a number on you.
No, it's the LP. I'm fine with the LP. Actually, I accept that pretty well. I actually accept that as a
Wayne's right and said we need to get you a steak and a rack of ribs. We need optimistic Steve back.
Yeah, I'm less like it doesn't have to do with the LP or the personal things. I've been actually feeling skittish about the market for a little bit, where it's like I'm seeing all these positive catalysts. I'm hearing all these positive catalysts. And maybe it's just watching the Bitcoin chart and seeing my Bitcoin position just sit stable at all times. Cause I'm pretty well diversified in how my investment strategy is pretty conservative compared to the average crypto person, to where the LP hit isn't as bad. It did slide out of my impermanent loss targets that I have, but not too bad. That's why I stake and that's why I vault and things. It's more so I keep looking at this Bitcoin chart and thinking to myself, and again, it was April, it was down below, close to 75K. So it's probably it's that short-term memory deal. But it just, basically for the past 5 months, it's been kind of sitting around, and I just keep waiting for a lot of that stuff. So I think I'm just waiting for things to sort of settle in and not be completely flat and completely chop. And that's just the way, it's just the way I'm feeling looking at the market. And maybe it's because every time we've hit an ETH all-time high, we've yanked all the way back because, Bitcoin kind of hit an all-time high and then yanked and stabled itself. Solana, it's 250. Oh my God, is it Solana season? Nope, we're right back to 200. And there's probably something to be said about finding higher lows potentially with this sort of thing. And maybe that's the silver lining I need to look at it with. I don't know. I feel for some reason I find myself feeling more iffy about the market the past couple of weeks. And especially because the last rate cut didn't move things. And it sort of was a cool little event for a couple of days.
Or it was just priced in. I mean, again, Bitcoin was 78K in April and people started talking, we're going to get rate cuts. And maybe that's what happened is ETH and Bitcoin both just priced in that first rate cut. And it didn't send when we actually got the cut because it was already priced in. The last 6 months have been insane. So it's chopped here just recently, but we've been in 6 months of ripping at least majors, and it can't go up only forever. I think it's just very normal market stuff. Yes, do we need a next catalyst? Maybe, but up 40%. Bitcoin as $100,000 asset up 40% since April is pretty nutty. ETH up triple digits since then is pretty nutty.
I think that's it. What is the next, I guess, to your point, do we need another catalyst? Who's to say the next set of rate cuts or the other one isn't priced in, right? It's markets in traditional finance are continuing to respond well. And I just wonder, and it's a relative thing, right? Because crypto can move incredibly quickly, incredibly fast, and incredibly volatile.
The other assets, in that same time frame where Bitcoin's up over 40% and ETH's up over 100%, gold, which is the talk of the town right now because it's had a late run, is up 20% in that same time frame, which is huge. People are tripping over themselves over how well gold's performing. Bitcoin and ETH are crushing gold. It's just what time frames are we looking at?
Yeah. I guess I'm looking at and again, it's a field. It's the same way you're field my plums, we're moving up. Past week or a couple of weeks.
I'm not gambling on a rate cut. I'm not gambling on a rate cut at all. It's just, I believe it is happening. Like, I'm very confident that we're getting 2 more rate cuts. And because we haven't seen movement here recently, that leads me to believe it's a positive thing that it's not priced in. And when it hits, actually, I think it'll be before it hits. I think we start seeing movement in a couple weeks as we get closer to that Fed meeting and people start realizing, hey, we have another catalyst coming, and this time we haven't priced it in. We haven't ran up another 40% or another 100% since we did since we priced in the last one. So yeah, I'm not gambling on it. I'm not stabling up here thinking the cycle's over, because this is the golden quarter for crypto. And then you add into it a couple rate cuts during the golden quarter, things could get silly. And then add into it $1 million stimmies. Man,
I hope so. I'm getting impatient. I mean, I'm getting impatient. And like, I look at it and I'm just asking myself, if the last rate cut didn't do it, maybe that one was priced in. Hope that the next ones aren't, if that's what we get. And hope that we do see this sort of like, Uptober into the, into the end of the year that we are hoping and expecting to see. It's just, yeah, it hasn't felt good for the past few months with what felt like catalyst after catalyst after catalyst. We're getting, the regulatory discussions. We're getting bills passed. We're getting people who are like all these things that should affect the macro. We have, treasury companies buying up assets. And, again, in the past few months, we've seen it be relatively flat. And what makes me wonder, it's like, okay, so what happens if that stuff doesn't happen? Or what happens if that stuff is priced in? So, we'll see. I mean, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not selling all my crypto and getting rid of it. I just don't, it's been an uneasy feeling the past like few weeks of like, are we, or is this? I don't know. And I don't think it's the end of the cycle. Like I don't, I'm expecting big things. It's just, I looked at that and then I started looking at some of these like, these airdrop discussions that I see in every single, and it's not just the ones I'm on. There's ones that I've never even heard of that people are talking about. They're like, oh, this one's delayed, or is this one going to happen? Or who knows when we're going to get this one? And it feels like a lot of people are dragging their feet on some of the bigger ones, but I don't know.
I'm trying to find like a down point. Like it's really the last month. East down 6% in the last month. In September, a bad month historically. East down 6%. Forget 6 months. Even the last 90 days, ETH is still up 70%. That's insane for a 90-day run. That's like, to me, like 90 days is current. Like that's recent. Like we are that to me is like that's the rate cuts. Yeah, digital. The East strategic reserves that have had an impact. It did. But I think a lot of that 70% in the last 90 days, I think was the last Fed meeting. I think we did get a big boost for the rate cuts that we saw. It was just priced in. We weren't sure. Well, after we didn't get the run, after it's down, okay, well, the rate cut, the first cut was priced in. Because it's went down since that rate cut, down 6% in the last 30 days, tells me the second and the third one is not priced in. And we may have another 70% gain in us here. Maybe 2 70% gains because we get 2 rate cuts. Like I don't
think it's rate. I mean, I don't think it's. I mean, like we'd have to check when Tom Lee and crew started talking about and buying it hand over fist. But I'm pretty sure like that ETH story is correlated pretty tightly to them going on and pushing ETH. And it's like, did we get to that point of getting it, or were they playing catch up to the point we've talked about? Again, in a 3-month period of time, Bitcoin is more or less chopped. But like I'm probably just feeling the Bitcoin trade in particular because to the point of that, like again, like April Bitcoin was down almost 75K, and it's easy to remember that. It's sort of like once we hit that May time frame, we started just chopping around it. It's just, I don't know. But like again, like if people are like zoom out, it's like, all right, well, zoom out. Like December Bitcoin hit 100, hit 100K. We're about there. And so I guess like I'm like,
so to answer your question, 90 days. He started buying 90 days ago. Lines up with that 70% lift. Started buying June 30th.
So I think that's a good story, and hopefully it continues. But it's like the one that we were feeling a little bit, and I don't know. I think it's just a combination of everything from ready for this to start, seeing a bunch of positive things, and it feels like we keep getting positive catalysts and not moving, materially in the past couple of months. And I don't know. Like there's different ways to play it, but I'm kind of waiting to see. I'm just I don't know, kind of waiting for something to happen, and I'm not as optimistic as I was probably a couple of weeks ago. And it's how I'm feeling. I mean, people can like fucking make fun of me in the war room all they want because they're feeling great. That's awesome. Congratulations. You guys can host a competing show and talk about how it's a stupid conversation. Thank you for your feedback. But like, I'm just giving a perspective on how I felt for the past couple of weeks, and just feeling less and less excited about it. So I just
Everyone's making fun. It's just everyone's entitled to feel differently. I think it's good to talk
I
through
mean,
it.
LOL, it's a crazy conversation. I mean, like that is making fun. I mean, by definition, but that's okay. Like, I get it. It's just it's just the way that I feeling today more than before, feeling yesterday a little bit more than before any, like, and so that's why I don't think it's I don't think it's like an emotional reaction to anything in particular, because it was kind of how I was feeling yesterday. I was talking to someone else about it, and I don't know, like I'm hopeful. Like, I'm not, like I said, I'm not selling my bags. I'm very invested in crypto. It's just I start getting nervous when I'm like, all right, I started thinking about it and zooming out to the fact that I'm like, all right, some of these airdrops seem like they're getting dragged out and delayed. That's a stimmy for the space that kind of helps a lot of things and a lot of like the smaller bags. And then we've had all this positive regulation and we haven't seen as much like upward momentum in the past few months. And I don't know, we'll see. Probably just probably just impatient, I would say, and probably just a little bit impatient, nervous, and hopeful. But yeah, I don't know. Like I'm a little less I don't know, just like feeling a little bit nervous this morning. But we can hit a different topic because I'm an idiot. I'm hearing it. I got it. We can hit a different topic.
I agree with Zane's take. Sorry for calling you out by name. I think it just feels kind of boring for folks right now with all the airdrops and shenanigans coming soon, not just announcements. I think Q4 will be fun and active. We have new things to talk about daily, and we'll all make money in the process. New meme coins will appear, new NFT projects will run, new metas will show themselves. I agree. I think right now it's easy to get, if you're not playing the NFT strategy game, that's taken the attention right now. It's performing very well. I mean, people who were in Punk Strategy early, people who were in that Funding Works round. I actually, 2 tabs I have open right now are Funding Works. Like, we haven't even talked about that, but how Token Works raised funds to do Punk Strategy, I think is pretty fucking cool. I wasn't in it though. And I think there's been a lot of things like we would feel probably a lot differently about the current state of our niche corner of the internet if we were in Token Works funding round and got a big, we're getting fees on holding that NFT from the founder created. If we were in Punk Strategy early, if we got a NFT kitty dropped to us that's $60,000. By the way, one of them sold for nearly $500,000.
Wow.
That sold for $265,000. Things are happening. It's just not everything, right? I think it's been very fragmented and things are moving in silos. So while Bitcoin chops, ETH's down a little bit in the last 30 days, very normal cycle things, very normal. Like Bitcoin and ETH are not going to go up only for an entire cycle. They will pull back. I'm not the crypto vet from 2012 or even 2017, but in 2021, like again, we just had the Bitcoin chart up here. That range where Bitcoin went like this was the greatest run I've ever had in crypto. And Bitcoin went from 60 to 30K. And I printed because I was in the midst of everything that was printing in crypto at the time, which was NFTs. Now it's not that specific thing that's printing. It's been things like Punk Strategy and Hyperliquid, and there has been a lot of things happening. It's just been it's not been across the board. And maybe I'm wrong, but I do think that if we get one or more of the dozens of airdrops that we're expecting in Q4 to hit, and it hits in a big way, it's probably not everything goes up across the board. But I think I agree with Zane. I think it's just been boring unless you're in Punk Strategy, unless you were a Hyperliquid whale. It's just there hasn't been widespread pandemonium on the timeline by any stretch of the imagination, and it's kind of like not being lulled to sleep, but yeah, I just be happy because I've capitulated in previous years and had to buy on the way back up. Memes on Abstract were up 40% yesterday. Yeah, I just think it's like, now is the law. Hopefully it's the calm before the storm. There's a world where you've been grinding the OpenSea farm like that thing could lead to a 5-6 figure stimmy for you, and you're feeling a little different about the current state of the market. Yeah, or it leads to $200 and you wish you would have sold everything and took your ball and went home. I just, it's probably somewhere in between, but I think a lot of these farming activities that are taking place right now, it's not fun. It's just we're showing up, we're clicking buttons, and hopefully positioning ourselves for the fun when it does happen.
Yeah, I wonder if part of it is I find myself seeing farming here as a whales game more so than ever before. And I know people will be like, oh, it's always been a whales game and whatever. But like, I feel like before the little guy had a little bit more of a chance. Like, you know, there was like NFT mints, for example. It's like you get an NFT mint, you have a chance, you take a shot, like all the things that would happen there. You'd be like, all right, cool, I've got a shot here, right? I feel like there is less of that, at least from where I sit, like where it's like, you know, like for example, the K-Hype one's coming out. And that's gonna happen. And like there's that like K-Hype, K points that people are doing on Kinetic. It's like the last week of points. So, you know, I was like, oh, I'm getting like 1, 2, 3 points a week. I've got like 15. And then I'm like, you know, and I have a lot of money for me on there, at least anyway, like more than I realized. And then I'm seeing people who are like, oh yeah, I have like 1,300 points. I'm like, okay, so I'm going to get a Subway sandwich for this one. And I'm like, I think a lot of the ones that I'm competing or playing in personally, and in general, it feels like it's more of a whales game and it's kind of rewarding to whales. I do think that's part of it where I feel like maybe in 2021 and 2022, it felt like there was a way to take a shot at certain things where you felt like you could have conviction at a lower cost comparatively. So that's probably part of it. Is I feel like there's a lot of whale games going on when it relates to sort of the farming activities and who's getting rewarded. I feel like a lot of investors are getting rewarded, right? I'm not a licensed investor, so I think that's a lot of the other part that I'm seeing.
I will give you, there's been some things that we've been prohibited from doing here in the US. And yep. I think that's part of it. Like you think about, we're talking plasma. If you send $100 there, you got a 5-figure stimmy. Like that's not a whales. Like were a lot of whales in plasma? Yes, but everyone who participated printed. Again, 100. Like the best ROIs was probably the small fish who put in $100 and got over 10K in return. You know, we talk about Aster. Again, another part of the world doesn't enter our sphere as often. But as Dobbins just said, you know, there's a $700 million stimmy coming on October 5th. Like there's a lot happening right now. It's just not everything. And I think a lot of the things that has been taking time and attention and focus are the ones that are these farms that are being drug out. And I'm not going to go back and relitigate OpenSea and how they're handling things. But it's my frustration hasn't just been with OpenSea. It's been, this is how things have changed in our space. Like this is the new meta for airdrops, is they farm the shit out of us. It's not the other way around. It's not we're farming protocols. They're farming the shit out of us and making them use and pay their fees for months or years before they TGE. And it didn't used to be that way. Like I think that's a big shift to where it's boring as hell. We don't want to be farmed forever by Abstract or OpenSea, or that's just two of them. It's a lot that drag out these farms for a very long time, so long to where it flips the farm and we're the ones getting farmed. Well, and not having fun doing it.
Long farms don't end well in general. I mean, we saw it with Blast, where it was like, you know, Blast, I kind of like passively participated and I was perfectly happy with what I got. But a lot of people who actively farm Blast were very unhappy with it, where they're like, wait a minute, so you're telling me if I just bridged over some money, I would have left that and gotten a better farm? And so I do think, like, I mean, look, like we talked about with Abstract, with the points, and they're making some changes, it sounds like, but it's like, you know, some of these are very long and drawn out for sure, and they feel long and drawn out, but yeah, I don't know. It's just like, I think it's a combination of things where it's like, I feel like, at least for me personally, and this is the personal aspect of it, most of these stimmies are going to come. Most of them are going to give me like a little bit of a payment, probably somewhat worth my time for participating. And that'll be that on the stimmies. It's felt like it's been a little bit of a long, I think maybe the combination of like sort of the farming season combined with the chop, because the other thing is like when numbers are going up, if you're sitting there farming, it's like, who cares, right? Numbers are going up, things are going well, there's opportunities. But I haven't had the same, I haven't seen the same opportunities for me where it's like, and I also think the opportunities are like, sort of like either you have to play everything or you have to get lucky, right? Like, because I think some of them, like we couldn't play around in the plasma, for example, being in the US, and, plasma cooked, right? And that worked out well for people who put in, like you said, $100 or whatever. Some of the other ones we've been prohibited from the US, and then, that we thought might be pretty good. But in general, it's like, I think it's like there's been that opportunity where people are like, well, there was, you could have, you could play sort of Aster. It's like, yeah, like, not a per person, so that obviously prohibits me a little bit, but it would have been an opportunity if I just bought the token when everybody was talking about it that weekend. So that's like a miss of like a very obvious opportunity, but I just don't think there have been as many like that, and it felt a little easier, a little more fun in the last cycle. And I think the past probably 3 months have just kind of, again, the chopping of Bitcoin, the less of, waiting for things to play out with the farms, and it's just, I think it's just a combination of things. And so I don't know, man. It does feel like, and then I think there probably is that aspect of like, the same 12 people who get into every early round because they are investors or they're not based in the US. And then they're, like sitting there saying like, hey, I cooked on this one, I cooked on that one. So I don't know. It's an interesting, I'm feeling some type of way about the market, and I'm just waiting. I hope things will happen. Yeah, it sounds like the Somnia TG. I know the people ate well on that. I know Grateful did really well on that. Thomas did well on that. So congratulations to those who ate on Somnia. But yeah, it's just kind of the way I'm feeling about it. Appreciate the people who are giving a little bit of love, saying like, don't blame you, and not just, hey, this is a stupid conversation. Because I think it's it's just a way that I'm feeling. It sounds like a couple other people are feeling similarly as well. So hopefully I'm, going to look back on this and be like, look, I was just getting exhausted with the market, the farms, the chop, and Q4 was the quarter, and hopefully it happens. But it's just, I find myself feeling less nervous when it was more also reflecting on, again, the price action we've seen based on rate cuts, the price action, the farm seemingly continuing to go longer. It was a reaction to sort of everything and being like, I don't know if we're going anywhere with this, but
I blame the OpenSea farm for getting Unifunk.
No, I mean, OpenSea farm's going fine. I know exactly where I'm going to end out in the OpenSea farm. Like, I'm not going to get to the top box. My prediction on the OpenSea farm is I probably spend a couple $1,000s on fees. I neutralize it with some NFT flips, and then I get like $3,000 worth of stuff. Like, I probably make net $1,000 in the OpenSea farm or something, which is fine because my
activity make a lot more than that. You better make a lot more than that.
Oh, I don't think so. Because I think when I look at the numbers on the boxes and what it costs to get there, I just don't think there's no way I'm going to get to the top box, right? Like, that's like something where it's like, I just don't have the capital to like farm my way to the top box.
Yeah, but so you're not giving yourself any credit for historical volumes and using the platform. Like as far as
the airdrop goes, that I feel better about. So like part of my thesis on the C airdrop is that hopefully I get net positive on the boxes. And then when the C airdrop ultimately does happen, I'll feel better because this volume I'm doing now will play into a C airdrop. Like that is my hope. But my gut feeling is I'm probably going to get to the Sapphire chest. Maybe I'll get to the one after that. So Sapphire's 4 from the top. I'm lucky if I get 3 from the top. I think that's probably where I'll clock out though, because I'll have to do the math on it. I'll do the math on it before I give you the exact stats on it. But knowing that that's not going to happen, like I think OpenSea, I'm like, I'll do fine. I'll make a little bit of money on the airdrop. I'll make a little bit of money on the chest, but I don't think it's going to be like this game changer for me. We'll see. But I think that, I think that if I had the liquid to it, I think the people who get to that solar chest are probably going to eat pretty well because they do have 2 Bored Apes, 2 Pudgy Penguins, like a bunch of stuff to give away. So we'll see. I saw Joey Val's hand fly up though. So Joey Val's, go ahead and get in here. GM.
Hey, GM guys. First, I want to say that everybody has a right to feel however they feel. And if somebody says they're wrong for feeling that way, they're wrong for telling them they feel that way because everyone's experience is different. It doesn't have to be what you agree with, but to tell, let people feel the way they want based on what they're doing and what they're experiencing. The second thing I'm going to say, which I think it was talked about in the war room, is it does feel, I think the reason why some of us feel this way is everything just feels like very copy pasta, very repetitive. Like we're doing the same thing over and over again, just on different platforms, chasing some type of TGE or reward. It's like, oh, Hyperliquid came out. This is new. This is great. Everybody's using it. Now another platform came out. Aster, it's exactly the same, right? Like, oh, there's a new LP platform. We should all use it. Oh, wait, another LP platform came out. Now we should all use it, right? Like, oh, there's this a platform to lock up liquidity and earn points and referrals. Oh, wait, look, now there's another one. It's like everybody is just recycling the same platforms with just new UI or new UX or better APR. And we're just running around in circles, where in 2021 and 2022, I think it was more exciting because there was actual communities with the NFTs that were happening, right? Like you might, if you were a trader and you were buying a bunch of apes or doodles or cool cats or whatever to trade and make money, that's fine. But there was also this community excitement that was happening, like what's coming next and who's really building something and what event is coming. And so I just think that you're not the only one that feels this way, because, unless you're just sitting in front of your computer and this is your like literal full-time job to just farm, right? And you find joy in like sitting in front of your computer and staring at things and farming, it is boring because it's very copy pasta right now in the space.
Yeah, there's a lot of copy pasta action going on for sure. The other thing I'll say is like, just going back to the OpenSea farm, for example, I think the last two chests cost like 4x the first like 8 combined or something to get. So it's like the chances of me getting through there, if I'm looking at the numbers correctly, I got to look back at the analytics that people have pulled, or the data people have pulled to get there. But it's like, I'm not going to end up getting there. So it's like, I feel like on that one, I'll probably end up plus EV, but it's probably going to be minor plus EV. It's probably not going to be too crazy one way or the other. Joey Vels, while we got you,
but why don't we? What are you talking about here, though? You're just talking about the reward season 1. You're not talking about the C stimming.
No, just the chest in general. So that's one where it's like, but to your point, like I'm gonna assume that all of my current activity, because they said it was going to be past activity, current activity, are going to go towards that rewards program. Like that activity is going to affect what I get in the airdrop, hopefully, in some way, shape, or form. I don't think it's going to be prioritized different. I think they've sort of said, it seems like there's a bucket for that historical activity that was always going to be there. My read on it is that it's incremental, that they'd be taking money from another area that wouldn't have been taken from for other parts of the stimmy. I have no idea. Like, I haven't seen their tokenomics or anything laid out. I'll be curious what they say next month to do it, because I think that'll say a lot on that. But I'm hoping that this is sort of like when we talk about like certain things being a bonus, like Kaido being a bonus or having a asset being a bonus. I'm hoping that I think it would be a good move by OpenSea to be like, oh, well, current activity is like a bonus. So like that wasn't expected, and that wasn't anything that was going to take away from anybody from your historical activity, but that's going to give you more because of this. And I'm hoping that plays into it. And then the chest is like a little like nice jump, because I would love to roll the dice with this thing, get something good in my chest. So we'll see. I don't know. It's just a gut feeling as I started looking around and playing a little bit of the and I got one person in the war room, I won't say who, I don't know what they're saying, but they said in 2021 there weren't the same amount of there weren't the same amount of depth and KOLs and insiders. They existed, just not to the extent they do now. So it felt like more of an even playing field, I'll say. They said it was more of an even playing field. I know there's some people who were ahead of the game, but it did feel like there was less. It goes, now there are levels of insiders and KOLs and cabals. There are 100 things to pay attention to in any week. And if you don't pay attention to the right one, you're sidelined. It's not a skill. It's time and luck, just like most things in life. We were playing a bit on easy mode before. And maybe that's it. It's just like missing a lot of things, not always being in those. And it does feel like it's like if it's easy to just miss the thing of the week. And it's like, shit, at some point I got to hit the thing of the week. So we'll see. I don't know. It's just a feeling that I've been having going into this cycle or going to the end of the cycle. And I'm hoping that we do end up hitting. I'm hoping it is up only. Like I'm hoping in a couple of weeks here, like Mayhem was saying, we bleed a little bit and then maybe we jump back up at the end of October, and that would be awesome. And just rip Q4, because like, look, I mean, if numbers are going up, gonna be feeling euphoric regardless, because it doesn't take a lot to get me excited about that stuff. It's just I feel, I mean, maybe I'm just tired, boss, and I'm just ready for this thing to happen. And it's been, I guess the other thing I'll say, and then I'll kind of like, we can hit a different thing, or maybe we'll have Joey Valls do a little death fun here. I'll say it this way. It's like, I think I probably expected in the past 2 to 3 months to see some semi-parabolic action based on the fact that we were seeing so many positive catalysts and tailwinds, and watching Bitcoin chop as an asset, and, you know, some other ones that obviously caught a bit up and then sort of like pulled back quite a bit, surprised me a little bit. I expected to see a little bit more out of that, and maybe that's my expectation not being met by that. So I'd say, like, partially one of the things that I'm a little bit feeling.
That's fair. I feel the same way, but I think they did happen. We just missed it. Because in that time frame, there's been massive prints in the form of Plasma, Aster, and Punk Strategy, just to name 3. There's probably been others, but those 3s have been massive, massive prints, like big time. If you got in early, like it just, and I just feel like who Plasma wasn't a secret. Like, and people that sent $100 in, they're not whales. Like, I would say someone sending $100 into a pre-sale is probably below average in terms of participant in the space. It's just, some things you needed to be outside of the US, other things you just need to be paying attention to. But there has been things, it's just been, they've been very siloed. It's not been everything. It's just been a few things in the majors, and, you know, other things haven't really, you know, and really in the case of the majors, they have been pretty choppy, but I think that's normal for where we're at in the cycle.
It's fine. It's that thing where it's like being in just the right place at just the right time. It's like, I knew about Plasma, but it's like, couldn't participate. And that was one that was interesting to me. I listened to Modern Market talk about it for months, and then, you know, watched it happen. And you know, the big miss, I would say, for me, like, you know, Punk Strategy, I missed it, but like, I didn't feel great about it initially when it was going on. I thought it was an interesting mechanic. I was fun, you know, and I don't feel bad about missing that one. The one I probably shouldn't have missed is Aster, because I heard it being talked about. I saw it being talked about quite a bit on the timeline, and I just never jumped in and watched it just continuously move up. So Aster's probably the miss as far as just a spot token that I probably could have made a little bit of money on. I think also part of it is like seeing some of the bags that I felt like I had some conviction in from a meme perspective and brand perspective falling. So like Rect being down more than 50% from all-time high is a surprise, right? Like, and that's not fudding or saying it won't recover. It's just a matter of like, damn, that I thought was cooking to $1 billion, and it just ripped backwards and hasn't been able to find its footing. Pengu's another one that just is underperforming for the rest of my portfolio, and just, you know, had a nice little run up after the initial fall down, but it's just completely fallen backwards. And so I've de-risked some bets there and put them elsewhere where I think that capital better goes to work, regardless if I miss an upside. But you know, I'm still like, you know, decently happy about my Rect position, but like, I think that's probably part of it, is that some of the plays that I felt good about just sort of stalled out. And so, you know, what happened with Pengu, what happened with Rect, and Pengu's already at such a massive market cap. Like, how much more can it move if it's not getting movement? So, and again, it's meme stuff, but I think part of those are the other things, is some of the coins that I've been holding that I do feel good about. You know, skill issue for sure, based on what I'm holding, more or less just kind of sitting more flat, right? And so I think that there's probably or down. And so I think like part of that has been a surprise as well. Obviously, Hyperliquid I've done well on. So I've had some spots where I've done well on Hype and some other coins as well. But I think that's the other thing, is like Rect being at a, $247 million market cap, when it looked like it was in a straight line to $1 billion at like 600 million plus. It was like, that feels surprising. Pudgy being below $2 billion when it looked like it was Pudgy to $5 billion. It's going to be a thing. So I don't know. We'll see. But it's just a feeling. We'll see. I hope it changes, and I hope we get a little bit more, but maybe a little bit of combination of exhaustion plus where the market's at. I know we're about to hit 9 o'clock. Do we want to hit a daily market update, and then we'll, just to see where we're at with everything else, and then we can go from there?
Let's do it.
Cool.
The daily market update straight to your brain. Powered by Apecoin, no hype, just gains. Moving on 8chain, we bringing the heat. NFT spends alpha, never miss a beat. 8chain on top, now we bringing the flex. The home of NFTs, these now what's next. Come on, my head top, but you want the time to chop, for one time.
It's time for the Daily Market Update powered by ApeCoin, the home of NFTs. ApeChain has it all, bringing fun, culture, and community to the blockchain. Home of Project Grade, Solana, Hyperliquid. Who knows what's next? They are cooking there. Dive in and see why ApeChain is on top. Cap.
Yes, sir. We got not a whole lot of movement on the charts today. We do have Bitcoin up 1% to 113,067. ETH up 1% as well to 41.64. Most other things are flat. XRP at 285, Solana at 207, Doge at 23 cents. By the way, in October, maybe November, I need to go back and check now, of 2021, Doge went from 10 cents to 40 cents, almost in a straight line. Cardano, the Q4, it was definitely Q4 of 21. I don't remember the exact month. Cardano almost back to its 80-cent peg. Looking at other memes, Sheeb flat, meme core up 5%, Pepe down 5%, Pump Fund down 3%, Pingu down 2%, and our favorite over at Ape, which we're going to be giving away a little bit of that, a lot of that actually on Thursday, is the big winner of the day, up 2%, while others are down. So love to see it. Hopefully that keeps running into Thursday. Looking at NFTs, Doodle's down 2% to 0.87. Kaido Genesis continued to climb up at now 1.48, up 2% on the day. Genesis NFTs, I'm assuming there's some speculation for C and others here, but up 16%.
It's a weird farm though, because I think that those probably have auto royalties on, which means if people are farming them, they're making less money on the farm. So it's bizarre that we see those moves so frequently. I don't know what the deal there is.
Not, unless someone knows something that we don't. I don't understand. Seems like a lot of speculation, and I mean, there's no guarantee that Genesis do anything for the C allocation. It's I don't know.
Yeah, there's a $50 NFT that you have to purchase right now to get 250 XP. So I'm assuming people are buying those up and then trying to resell them for a little bit of profit to cover their fees, just to earn that that 250 point XP.
Could be. Yeah, I actually things I didn't say in the year, didn't think I would say in the year 2025. I actually have an open collection offer on an oddity to check that box, a little over $50. But speaking of announcements and Q4 things, we get maybe one of our first big announcements of Q4 comes on Thursday. Not show 1000, although that'll be our big announcement. But Spencer and the Burbs have something big planned. Token 2049. So we will see on that. That's my bet. Is I don't necessarily expect it to be anytime soon, but I think after the announcement, we'll see a run on those, and could be a mildly profitable flip. Don't follow me for financial advice, however. Apes are flat at 9.09. Milady's up 2% after their derivative Milady strategy token that went to zero. Big Pudgy's down 1.5% to 10.09. Far World Creatures looks like a farm, but doesn't hit the $50 threshold, so I'm not sure what's driving that volume. Lil's down 4% to 1.18. Moonbird's flat at 3.07. And DX Terminal, that is a $50 farm, the farm of the day.
Farm of the season. People buy those. Like I'm
they're going to make $500,000 if more in royalties because of this OpenSea farm. So I guess good luck, good GG to them. Congratulations. And I also saw that yesterday. Let's see if I can find the tweet. OpenSea made more in fees off of the hyper cat NFTs, the hypers, than they did the entire month prior.
Yeah, I didn't spot data check that one, but it makes sense based on it just shows how NFTs can just a good NFT cook. Like, man, OpenSea is going to make a lot of more money off tokens if they can get people using the token platform regularly and make it mobile. Don't get me wrong. Like, tokens are more liquid. They're traded. They're traded in units. But like, man, if you can get a good NFT cook going on, you're going to absolutely eat. And that was one I saw for sure. But yeah, I mean, that's a move that a lot of people are pulling, where it's like people will buy those DX terminals. Like, I saw people farm their way up to like a sapphire chest where they would just go buy like 0.2 ETH worth of those and then just list them at the littlest bit of loss and, eat the fee, call it a day, and then people just buying them from each other. They go in list view, and that is like the ultimate farm that people are doing right now. And if you're patient and people play those, I've seen people play them where they buy them and they'll like profit off them on the way up, because they'll buy them when they're at their lower point and they range trade their way back up as people are farming. So something going on there for sure. I have not played that game, but it's certainly a game that I think some people are playing. Plus, they're playing on base. By the way, base airdrop at some point, probably maybe happen as well. It's another one. So, you mentioned doodles. Before we do this, we'll do a death fund drawing in a second here. So, if somebody wants to be the death fund entrant today, let us know. We'll get someone on there. New sponsor. I'll pin to the top something in a second. Joey Valls, are you waving to go, or are you waving because you want to be in death fund?
I haven't played Death Fun yet, so I'm down to play some Death Fun.
One last thing on our daily market update, brought to you by Ape Chain. Ape Chain on top, the home of not just Ape and Other Side and home of NFT. It's also where those Coffee with Captain badge collecting challenges are. If you missed the complete set and would still like to participate, again, we're giving away, there's going to be one grand prize winner with a complete set. It's going to get 3,000 Ape. There's also 3 other winners that they're in the running just for holding a single badge. You can go collect those on go collect them on OpenSea. Farm some of your points if you'd like. One other thing, and this isn't 1 in a million. Please don't take any offense to this. I'm not calling you out. It's just a good example, and I think actually helps drive home a point for some others when we talk about just market. And we all would love things to be more. We'd love things to be greater. He says, in hindsight, you guys should have just sold all your Pingu on day one, because it seems like, it hasn't been performing that well as of late. It's the same price, maybe up a little bit from when it dropped. Like, it's just like, it's our brains, our sense of dollars here, our sense of time, I think, can get warped. I mean, look at this Pingu chart. You drop December.
I was going to say Pengu selling day one isn't what I'm worried about by any means. Like, Pengu selling day one, it's relatively flat. Like, I've done fine with, I bought Pengu when it was down. I sold it when it was up. I did okay on Pengu. I didn't capitulate, even though I nearly capitulated probably in like February, March timeframe. But like, I'm more like, I'm not worried about that as much. It's not even necessarily a day one thing. I'm more worried about like.
But when would you sold? Like, I mean, like. Yeah, it did run up. I guess you could have sold at 43 instead of 27. But if you look at this chart, it's like, it's not that far off the highs relative to how low it went. And I know this is several months of chop, but like, this is just April. It's peeled off a 0 since then. Like, it's.
I mean, I took a cap gain on Pengu, so I'm not worried about that. It's just where it's currently at. I'm more saying I'm holding enough Pengu to get myself a boost on abstract for the moment. Maybe, I don't know, for an airdrop in 2047. But like, I at least that's what the timeline tells me. But like, I sold some Pengu and I got a cap gain on it when I recently sold it. So I'm not worried about my Pengu. Nor am I really worried about. I mean, like, I'm holding my Rect. I haven't sold it yet. I sold a little part of it at some point when it was higher than it is right now, but it had a huge, I mean, we talked about it at the time, it had a huge run up, but there did come to a point where it's like, okay, at some point, yes, Rect can't be up only, but at some point it can't be down only. Like, we hit those highs and we thought we were going to $1 billion, and I think it was like 600 mil or something like that, and it's down quite a bit. So it's like, yeah, it's just, it's ones where it's also like, I guess I'm surprised about some of those plays being so, like, I expect them to be volatile. I just don't expect them to be going down 25% in any given week while other stuff goes flat, right? Like, and that stuff is like, okay, what's going on, and when is this going to hit the when is this going to hit? I know 1 million's coming up here to defend his mans, but when is that stuff? And so, like, I think that's also it's probably a combination of things playing into it. It's probably the chop of Bitcoin in particular, because every time I open and look at my Bitcoin, I'm like, we're in the same spot as we were. It's the same picture, office meme. The non-response to some of the news, the non-response to some of the catalysts, and then some of those plays that I thought were going to be pretty good, not playing out quite as well as I want. That's why we say not financial advice. So, and then just kind of farming these airdrops and waiting for these things to happen. There's definitely a lot, but 1 million, I don't know if you want to get in on that, because I know you got the specific call out there if you wanted to respond.
Yeah, no, real quick. I think Cap just misread it. I was genuinely, and GM guys. No, I was genuinely asking if you had the choice today. It was based on your earlier conversation, but if you had the choice today, would you go back and be like, yeah, I'm just going to sell it? Or are you happy with your current holdings?
I I mean, look, I mean, I would sell all the tops if I had the choice, right? I mean, like if I had the choice, if I can go back in time, I would have bought Bitcoin in 2013. I would have sold ETH when it hit that 5,000 mark. I would have sold Bitcoin when it hit $1.25 and then rebought. Like it's like, coulda, shoulda, woulda for sure. But when it comes to those two in particular, I mean, no, I mean, like I got wrecked for free on an airdrop. I bought some. It's up significantly since I bought it still. And it's like I got to make the plays and learn from them one way or the other and decide where I want to play it. But like, yeah, I mean, like if I can go back in time, like I would have done a lot of things differently. Like, I mean, I don't like, again, like on my Bored Ape, I'm happy to have hold through. I like having my Bored Ape, but it's like, yeah, I would have sold a Gutter Cat at 10 ETH and I would have sold 30 ETH worth of Pixel Vault stuff when ETH was $4,000. And I'd be, I could be, like when you looked at our portfolios of NFTs in 2022, we could have fucked off to the beach in what we thought was not life-changing money, which kind of was life-changing money if we sold all of it and kind of invested it. If we sold all of it, Cap, and bought Bitcoin, it was life-changing money. But now it's not. So you live, you learn, you work through it. But it's a thing where I try to look back and say, why did I make the decision I made? And was it made in sound reasoning? And if it was, great. And if it wasn't, why did I deviate from the plan? That's all I can do in my opinion. So that's kind of my take on it, Cap. Do you wish you had sold all your stuff?
Some of it, not all. And as far as Pingu, no. I hold a little more than what I need to qualify for the boost on abstract, and it's down a little from the top. As far as I maybe a little is different, but it's up way higher than the bottom. And I wasn't upset I didn't sell at the bottom. I'm definitely okay with it being down a little bit from the top, and I think it's got upside, potential still in it, and maybe not. I don't know. Like I'm good with. I don't have any regrets this current cycle in terms of holding bags. Like my positions, I'm still, you mentioned Pingu and Rect. I'm still very long on those, and if anything, I would have bought more when they were down. But last cycle, yeah, different story. I just didn't was way too, the run-ups were so extreme that the portfolio just got unbalanced in terms of way too proportionately in some NFTs that I didn't have conviction in. And yeah, could have sold all those at the top had I been thinking.
Yeah, I mean, there were learnings about selling that I got last cycle for sure, about things that I think I felt good about, like learning last cycle what I should have sold, what I wanted to sell, and what I would sell in the future. So like to me, it was like easy learnings, easy to go, and then from there I kind of move and figure it out. Before we do Death Fun, because I know we got some people out there, like maybe we'll figure out who wants to do it. Joey, I'm gonna have Joey do Death Fun on stream with us at some point to go in 1 in a million. I'll let you get back in here before we move on. Go ahead.
What about getting on the stream? What? Oh, sorry.
No, it's no. A better way to phrase my question would have been, "Are you guys still long on Pingu?"
Yep.
So, all right. Thanks, guys.
I'm longish. I don't know, like, which isn't really you can't take a longish position on a perp, but longish.
I'll say I'm longer on Pingu than I am on abstract. So I just my confidence in that chain is waning.
Yeah, same. I think that's been the general sentiment on the timeline.
In fact, I got a really bold, crazy take this morning. It just hit me as we're talking through this. What would you put the odds percentage? What percentage chance do you think that you would put on Luca and Igloo spinning off abstract, just selling it and doubling down on Pingu?
It's incredibly bizarre you just asked that question, because you said I just had a take this morning as I was thinking about it, and I almost cut you off and said, do you think Luca's going to sell abstract?
I think he should at this point. I'm gonna let people think on that one. I'm gonna go take a mobile stream drop, fill up the coffee. But yeah, I'm gonna change the title and say Luca and Igloo should sell abstract and see what that does. See if that gets them going, Steve.
Yeah, it's not going to win us any favor in the in that community if you do it. Risky move considering the conversation. But yeah, I just wouldn't surprise me, because it isn't seemingly moving as well as one might expect. But let's do this. let's do a death fund. Joey, I said I'm going to have you do a death fund live on stream at some point. So we're not going to do death fund this morning because you're not on the stream, but we're going to get you on the stream to do death fund so you can do your own picks. We're going to do our death fund drawing this morning. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to pin my death fund link to the top. For those who are listening right now, if you go on death fund, which as you can see on death fund, you'll be able to see it, you can win money just playing. Like you can play one round and cash out your money at a go. You need to spend like $20, which is like 0.005 ETH total or something like that. But if you play 1.01 round, I think you qualify. I think we only have like 3 or 4 entries right now, which means there's a like 1 in 5 shot if you play right now at winning $1,000. Now, obviously, that's going to change over the next month. Things are going to happen. But I just want to throw out there that if you use the referral link that I have pinned to the top, you just need to click on that sort of picture, or the referral link I put in the abstract chat as well. You go on there, play one game at least of 0.01 on Death Fund, and I believe, if I'm doing my math correctly, that enters you. You don't necessarily need to, again, lose money if you're very careful or you don't get unlucky. You can potentially make it, or you can play a couple of times. And the more you play, the more exciting I get. You know, they obviously have a few things, but let's get into it and pick a Death Fund person this morning. You know what I'm going to do, and we'll get to everybody. We're going to do Diego this morning because Diego, I know, really exciting about BZ. We got some BZ Claw drawings coming on Thursday as requested. Shout out Joey Vowles and team for that are going to be coming on Thursday. And I know Diego's a big fan of those, big fan of the show, always kind of gives some love there. So Diego, here's what we're going to do. Right now you are watching, we're going to do a Death Fund. So it's time for Coffee with Captain Death Fund gameplay. I should make them a jingle. I didn't promise them a jingle in the agreement, but I should make them a jingle. But time for the Coffee with Captain Death Fund gameplay. Death Fund, home of DGen Dice, Laser Party, and the original Death Fund game, bringing the chaos to Coffee with Captain with our $3,000 in prizes up for grabs. Tune in daily for your shot to play. Don't forget to use our referral link and spend $20 for the chance to win that $1,000 grand prize. We'll work on that live read. That was a little clunky on the first go, but I'm going to pull up Death Fund. Diego, you are playing right now. So we are going to play you 3 runs on Death Fund. Still here from yesterday is the one where Cap and I absolutely bombed out. We got bumped on the first round a couple of times. So, Diego, we're going to try to win you some money here. So we're going to start wishing you luck. We'll get this thing going. Again, use the referral link in the abstract chat. Go to the top. Click on that button right there. They're on up top. If you click on the picture, it will get you. Diego says go wild. So we're going to go wild this morning on Death Fund. Okay, that was just unlucky. We are 0 for 1 right off the bat, right side. We're going to give you a couple more runs here, Diego, because that is just absolutely not fun. All right, we're going to go right again. All right, we're good. Left. Right again. Here's a big one. We got to go at least 4 rounds for this thing to count. That was the agreement I had. I said, like, look, I want to keep this thing running. We're going to go four rounds on this thing. This could be a big one here for Diego, so we're going to keep going back up. We're going to go second from the right. All right, we're live. Now, Diego, I'm going to cash you out here on this one. So you tell me, Diego, you said 3. Do you want me to cash you out here for the guaranteed win, or are we going to keep running this thing up? Tell me in the chat which way you want to go. If you give me a number 1, 2, or 3, or say, call this cash, because we have at least one more run in you. But this is it. So we're going to cash you out, Diego. So, Diego, you're going to DM me. I know I got it from Gator yesterday. Diego, you're going to DM me your address, and I'm going to get you that money as well for winning. So the 0.002 ETH, look, I mean, that's like winning 108 right there on there. So we're going to cash you out to go with it. But we are going to do another run for you right here. I think we got to go for a God run here. We're going to go right. We're going to right. Do we just go whole way right? Do we just stay on the right side? Do we stay on the right side?
I think
Steve broke, right side?
I think Steve broke Death Fund. He figured out how to hack it.
Do we stay on the right side, Cap, here? We got to go for the God run for Diego. He's already cashed out. Do we want we're going to go right again?
I mean, I can't say not go right.
Do we keep going right? So, Diego, I'm going to wait for Diego to respond in the chat. Do we go on the right, or do we change it up this time? You want me to keep going right? Either say right or give me a number. Give me a number 1, 2, 3, or 4 in this order. 1 is here, 2 is here, 3 is here, 4 is here. Diego, do you want to go 1, 2, 3, or 4? He's going left. Diego wants to go all the way to left. We're still alive. We're still alive. All right, Diego. 2. All right. Diego, give me another number. Give me another. We got a big, wide variety here. We got to keep cooking now. Give me a number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Give me a number 1 through 6, Diego. Can't cash out now. Come on. All right, let's figure out what 0.05 ETH is because that is a lot of money. I see you want to cash. I think that's perfectly fair. We're going to go. Now, let me ask you this, Diego, and I'm not trying to peer pressure you because this is a big, risky proposition. And it's a crazy move, and I'm not trying to egg you on too much here. This is 230 US American dollars right now that you are sitting on. However, you have like 3 or 4 rounds here where you could potentially cook up. So again, Diego, I am totally cool cashing out if you want to cash out. But you could take some pretty good odds here. Thoughts? Ask you one more time. Totally get it. You can hit me with cash one more time. You've already told me to cash out twice. But if you want to cash out, we will cash out, Diego. And we will get you a big winner here. You know what? He says cash out, I would pick 5. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cash out. It'll show you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It'll show you if we would have hit a red one or if he would have gotten that one up a little bit more. Thomas says keep playing with Diego's money. Let's see where it was. 1, 2, 3, 4. You would have gotten a little bit more, Diego, just a little bit more. But look, Diego, congratulations. Diego just won $230 courtesy of Death Fund on Coffee with Captain this morning just by showing up and playing. You combine that with his other win. Let's figure this out real quick.
Also scroll the way up. Would it hit if you just kept going right?
We would have gotten all the way to 15.
15.5. Wow.
15.5 on that one. Let's figure out what Diego's total cash out was. So Diego, let's see. We have to add in the 0.022 here. So that makes that 7, that makes that 7, and that makes that 6. Diego, you just won $322 between your 2 out of your 3 runs, which hit out. So how about that? Diego goes Red Skull on the first one, feels like a bad omen, and then cashes out $322 courtesy of Death Fund and Coffee with Captain this morning. Good stuff from our friends at Death Fund. We appreciate the sponsorship. Diego appreciates it. Our crowd appreciates it. Our community appreciates it. Our audience appreciates it. We'll continue to run these things every day. Do us a favor, though. As always, make sure you go to the top of the space, click that referral link. Diego, I'm expecting you to use that referral link. You just made $320. Donate 20 of it back into Death Fund on a run. Maybe you'll win 320 again. Use the ref link in the chat, and we will do it. Diego, you don't even have to worry about clipping it. I will get you a beautiful clip that I will put out this morning on it, or in the next couple of days on this one, because first big win here. Just goes to show one run on Death Fund can really cash out there. So love that. Love how that happened. First big winner. I think we're gonna have some big winners on this Death Fund, Cap, because 3 runs to get really cute with it. We're gonna have somebody absolutely eat at some point on Coffee with Captain on Death Fund. But appreciate Death Fund for sponsoring us, and we will get more people involved in this as we go. Remember to tune in every day for your chance to win that. Thank you to Death Fund. Cap, wanted to get your take on. You know what? I'm not even going to go the direction I was going to go. I'm going to get your take on a J-Bond tweet here and get your thoughts on it. Because J-Bond, the king of the engagement farm, has a good one worth discussing, I think, because he's a provocateur. If you were a BAYC and Pudgy Penguin holder, which of the following you prefer? Having a once-a-year event and get-together exclusively for apes and plus ones, or having an open for everyone activations at major crypto conferences in the world? Now, I think there is an in-between, for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, I know he's a provocateur. I don't think it's a fair post because it's not just Ape Fest. Ape has done this at every major flagpole event. Like they are. It's not for just apes. It's the ApeCoin team. We had a good. The Paris event were great. That was one I've been to recently. Like it was fine. Like they've been doing things at all these important crypto events in addition to Ape Fest, and I would not want to lose Ape Fest.
I think there's this like misconception that a blowout party is what you need. Like, here's the thing: the events that this is not me just being a homer. The events that Yuga has done at major events, I'm happy with.
Yeah,
we had
great.
a speakeasy like event at the last NFT NYC. Actually, NFT NYC recently was the Ape Chain event, so we didn't have anything at the last NFT NYC. However, the previous NFT,
no, right? It wasn't gated for apes, but apes were there. It was very much so a Bored Ape meetup, right? Plus new community members that hold one ape coin. which are apparently now in the club.
But like, I guess my point being, like, the previous one, they had done sort of more of like, not even a speakeasy, but it was like a smaller bar, had some food, had some drinks, like, you know, go to the bar, get some free drinks, all that stuff. I like that. What they did in Paris, I liked. What they did in Lisbon, I liked. Like, it's just, they, you know, obviously they had Ape Fest, but they had some side event things. It's like, I'm a fan of that. Like, I think there's this misconception that if you don't throw a party with a DJ so loud I can't hear the person next to me, then you're not throwing an event at an NFT event, at an NFT like sort of conference or whatever. I like the way that Bored Ape's been doing a lot of these events. Now, I want to, for my money, like, do something fun and creative at Basel. Like, what I would love to see from more NFT communities is creativity. Something we talked about with Coffee with Captain that I know we haven't done, but we could use our badges for this as an example, is like, we talked about doing like a walking food tour. No promises. We don't know what we're going to do, but we talked about doing a walking food tour in Miami where you spend like, you know, you get there at like, you know, 10 o'clock. They'll have breakfast.
Steve, sorry, got to cut you off. The only people who will be invited when we do the walking food tour are people that have badge for show 1000. If you don't have badge 1000, you're not getting invited. So that's op.xyz/claim. Type in claim code 1000, hit claim, make sure you claim it. And you may get invited to a food tour if we ever do one someday. But if we do a food tour and you don't have badge 1000, you're not invited.
Outs, all the way out. But yeah, like the like we talked about that. I would love to see more creativity like that from some of the brands where they bring in somebody who maybe is like, we're gonna do something around the city, or we're gonna do something that's unique, or we're gonna do something like different, or we're gonna do, you know, I don't know, like get a celebrity chef that's local to here, and we're gonna hire them to put together like a meal. Like, you know who does it really well? And I regret not having a concierge pass, is Asif for Ape Concierge. Yep. Did an amazing dinner that I was so if I was a sandwich, I'd be peanut butter and jealous because they were sitting in front of the Eiffel Tower watching it. If I was in the water next to it, I'd be a jellyfish because right there they were sitting there and they were eating directly next to the Eiffel Tower, a delicious meal courtesy of Ape Concierge. They're doing another one in Vegas. So like, I think he does a tremendous job. Like, in fact, I don't know why more NFT companies don't hire somebody like those sorts of events, people who know their stuff or people who know the cities.
Imagine a club, an NFT community that's a club of people. And I'm not just talking to Bored Ape Yacht Club. They're all fucking clubs. Like, regardless what their name is, you have a bunch of people that are part of something and they like getting together. Imagine having a membership director or a club director. What a novel concept.
Who should have? I wish somebody suggested that 3 years ago. But like, that's the idea. It's like, if you had a membership director, you don't even need to pay him that much because I'm sure they do it for like lower like amounts of money. Like,
I'd go on record and say that they would probably dude. I'm trying to say something without sounding like an asshole or egotistical or some. I'm 100% certain people would do it for an asset, for an ape, for a pudgy. I would do it. Below my pay grade. But I would take an ape and be the membership director.
I would not at that. That's so much work. Like at events, you're like you would need a budget.
It's work at the events, but it's not for everyone. I enjoy that stuff, man. I've curated, planned, and hosted events. It's like I'm in my wheelhouse. Like tell me I got to host this conference in 365 days. I'd love it. And yeah, there's work goes into it. Is it a week-long grind where you're actually there on the ground? Yeah. But it's kind of like this. It doesn't feel like work to me because I enjoy hosting. I enjoy emceeing. And I know it's more than just that. I know you're probably putting out a lot of fires and there's some frustrations. But yeah, I would do it for a pudgy. Like, I just like, and I'm not asking for that. I don't want that role, but I'm saying I'm certain that people would do it for an asset.
I think like what you need if people really want to make these clubs true clubs like this is you need a membership director and they need to have a budget and they need to have a multitude of roles. The reason why I say like you wouldn't do it for an asset, or probably most people wouldn't, is because I think membership director is welcoming new members, interfacing with whales, interfacing with communities, going on spaces that are both community and otherwise, having conversations about what's going on with the brand.
Using apes, I would lean in and work with the Welcome Apes crew. I'd work with Dort and Law. And you talk about budget. Yeah, budget would be helpful. But if we didn't have a budget, I don't need a budget. I'd do it with no budget because I'd go make a budget.
Well, you need budget for like what I'm talking about.
Pay for this shit. Like, I know it for a fact. Sponsors pay for this shit. You just have to ask. You have to organize. You have to give them something to sponsor.
I think I agree, and I think that's part of the role. I mean, I guess my point being like, I think you get what you pay for in a lot of situations. I'm not.
Yeah. If I can ask that, I'm not working 40 hours a week for this.
That's it.
But I would host kick-ass events, and I would make sure new members felt welcome.
But I bet you people could get like under market value for like certain like lower six-figure salaries, not like $500,000, not $1 million. That's what I'm
my
saying.
point. Like I'm just using an asset as like a number that's below 100K that most of. I wouldn't take a job that wants to pay me a $50,000-$60,000 salary. But my whole point is there's people here that are vested. They enjoy this stuff, and using myself as an example would take well below market rates to do something that's supporting something I believe in and I enjoy, and it's around people I like working with.
Right. Because like imagine like every time there is a major event, like, and I'm talking like major, it doesn't have to be every single one, but like Token 2049 is a major event. Like it's a large crypto conference. You work and you create a local event and experience there, which is, and it's one of the things actually like, Pixelvault, like paid on Pixelvault all you want. They had done like some sort of a food tour type thing at one point in New York. It's like stuff like that, or, organizing the cycling drinking things and having something for the non-drinkers that's alongside of it when you're in Minneapolis, right? And you call the place in advance and you go, I have 100 people who are going to take all of your things throughout the day, and they're going to book slots, and they're going to come in and they're going to go and they're going to enjoy it. And, they're going to like that sort of like tailored event when it's like, there's a VCon, do something. There's a Ape Fest. Obviously that is the event at that time. Art Basel comes up. Hey, walking food tour, like Culinary Adventures or whatever it's called. Like, it's like, we're going to go to you and we want you to do 3 walking food tours with, a total of, 4 walking food tours, a total of 100 people, or 5 walking food tours, a total of 100 people over the course of the next, 3 days. And we're going to organize slots for you, and you get people to sign up for it, and they go through Luma, and it's like those benefits where you cover that for somebody, and they don't have to be, they can be like smaller events. Like even like the poker tournament, it's a great example. I don't mind doing a buy-in, but like, could you cover the buy-in? Like things like that, where it's like you do these events at a casino, you get it sponsored if you can, and you bring in business, something like those things where it's like, I would love to see more of that, where you give these experiences to people and give them this pride and reason to want to be in the club, not just like, hey, so the event we're going to throw together an event at this bar. There's going to be really loud music. First few drinks are free, or maybe you get a few drink tickets, but then that's that. And, there's no sweat. It's like, throw together an event where you actually make people feel really, really special for being in the club, work with your community on it. But like I think, again, what Asif does is like really good. It's like Asif got us into that freaking hotel in Paris, like on short notice. And he got us out to a dinner at a really good place on Valentine's Day in Paris, like on short notice. It's like, get people like that who know what they're doing, utilize them. And part of my budget, if you do that, I'm like, I'm going to pay Asif for this. I'm going to pay this person for this.
Not to defend them, but to defend the ApeCoin team specifically, they are doing that now. Now, it's not a full-time membership director, but they are taking care of Asif. They're taking care of NFT Hoarder and several others. Those are just two that come to mind that they supported financially for their efforts. I think what we're saying is double down on that and make it more than just at Ape Fest. Like, have someone that whether it's someone on payroll or it's a community member that you're incentivizing. Like we had, dude, I'm old enough to remember there was a Bored Ape Council where I think there was 6, 7, 8 people who were, this isn't the special council for the DAO. This is the Bored Ape Yacht Club Council, where I think those people were making, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, 8 grand a month. Give them power, though. You have to empower them to do things. It doesn't do any good to have a half dozen people and you pay them 50 grand a month collectively to have meetings. Like, you have to give someone the ability to do things. You have to empower them. And I'm not putting pressure on Asif as well, but yeah, I think one person like Asif could do wonders for that ongoing excitement.
Or a person that uses him as a vendor, right? That's the other thing. Like, you as an example, like I'll use you as an example. I'll use me, people like that, like you as an example, like you could organize it and get sponsors and say, hey, Asif, you know this thing. We have a normal deal, a normal retainer. You make the experience world-class, we'll do it again. And it's like, then he has, because the other thing about it, people like realize that
you can do this cost neutral.
Yeah. And reoccurring business for someone like him who's running an awesome business with concierge and what he does with millionaire concierge and 8 concierge. It's like he's good at what he does. It's like he's one example of a person. Like, so I think there's a variety of people you could put on a payroll at a reasonable salary for what you have to say your job is your KPIs are 5 events a year, and throughout the year you have to be a interface for the community when like shit's going sideways or people want to know things, or you be the the consigliere of the family who goes out to different different spaces and things like that. Like I think that is a reasonable job. Like, I mean, and here we go. Dort sitting here. Couldn't imagine a bigger value add for me personally at the club. And I get it. It's one of those things where it's like, hey, is this like the big cost leader or the big cost maker? No, it's not making you the money, but it's getting you the quality of people. It's giving a reason to own the asset. It's giving the club a reason to continue to club. And yes, around 8Fest, you want to have a bunch of things going on. But to your point, like, and this isn't a Bored Ape Yacht Club thing. This is a it's a Pudgy Penguin thing. It's everybody. It's Doodles. It's all the different ones. It's like, if you could do something where you had, one of the reasons people really like Doodles, and I promise we'll get to you, Joey, here. I know you threw your hand up. It's like, one of the reasons people like loved holding Doodles in like 2021 and 2022, Doodles ran unique experiences. They ran immersive experiences. Then they ran Diplo concerts that were crazy fun. They ran Chainsmoker concerts that were amazing. It's like, they ran experiences.
Yeah, I remember having FOMO over not having a doodle going to Art Basel. Fortunately, you helped me out with your +1. I'm really excited for Ape Fest. I'll echo Dort's sentiment. I'm going to go to Art Basel. I'm looking for something to get excited about at Art Basel, a community-based event. I used to
maybe going to Art Basel.
I got a Galaxy World of Women to go to Art Basel, to go to a gala. And which is that Galaxy World of Women is way down from where I bought it, but I don't mind because I got my value for that NFT off one event. What happened to that? Like, that's like, you don't have to do this. I'm not saying for all the crowd, before you say it, like NFT collections, NFT companies, they can't give free perks for life. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying they should spend their treasuries on these events. They should not go burn 6 figures on an open bar of their own treasury. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is you have a community. You have a community that wants to meet up, that loves meeting up and getting together for these exclusive events. Guess who loves paying and sponsoring these exclusive events? Other people in this space. Like, it happens. And for some reason, I feel like we've just went away from that exclusive, gated, in real life event. And I don't understand why. What is missing? What changed? Why do we go away? Right. Frank DeGods made $400,000 off of a party that he threw in New York. Why did these companies stop doing that? Like, I say cost neutral. There's some that have done it to become incredible profit centers. Like, there's probably not too many NFT collections outside of Hypers that have collected $400,000 plus in royalties this year. You could bring that in off one party. But I think the reason they stopped, Steve, my guess, is because many of them weren't doing that. And instead they were hosting these parties and burning through 6 or 7 figures of their treasury. Like, oh, we can't keep doing this forever. And they're right. You shouldn't have been doing that. Go get some sponsors.
When you don't have to get like Justin Bieber to perform or, friggin' Sabrina Carpenter to perform for your event to be successful. Like, you can do a successful event without having to have like I think big ticket names and items. It became this thing where it was like, you had to go out and get the biggest name item. Well, the problem was like, then people would go and get a performer and they'd be like, ladies and gentlemen, and it would be some person you never heard of. You're like, okay, cool. I'm going to walk away from the stage now. I think it doesn't have to be that. I actually would argue that, again, using the Miami Art Basel as an example, I'm a maybe for Art Basel this year because there's nothing I'm excited about again. And we're, 3 months out, plenty of time. But like, I'll probably go, but I'm traveling in the end of December and I'm traveling in October and I could afford not to go. So I don't know.
Joe, we'll get to Joe in a minute. A couple things. Shout out to the abstract chat. I think Chris Voigt Juggle just had an unlock for me. And I'm rewinding it all the way, and I'm going to get to Adeka's comment here in a second, but rewinding it all the way back earlier in the show, we were talking about just feels choppy, a little boring. What are we doing here? I'm getting tired of clicking buttons and waiting for these farms to come to fruition. I too miss VCon. And I'm thinking about my personal journey in 2025. The last crypto event I was at was NFT Paris in February. And that law, like, I feel that. Like, I think that's part of, like, VCon was fun. There was a lot of fun events, and I've been a proponent and a fan of in real life meetups. I've said since the hype of NFTs that was part of the magic. It's one thing to build these relationships, these connections online. You can 10x them when you get together and you break bread in person. And I'm not saying every NFT collection should have a party every month. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying every NFT collection should have a conference, even once a year. But as those sort of opportunities have faded in 2025, I think that may be playing into the lull that several of us are feeling in this market, where it's not up only. We're doing a lot of boring farms. We're waiting for something exciting. I do believe truly that Ape Fest will be that, shot in the arm for those attending, but that's not the space at large. And I know VFriends was theoretically just for VFriends holders, but the reality was it was, and Ape Fest is too. They're really Web3 centric conferences. They're Web3 centric events. There's a lot of people that go to VFriends that aren't a VFriends homer. They just know it's a great VCon, or they know it's a great event for Web3 community members who are good people, right? And it's fun. And so, yeah, Chris, I too miss VCon. And I think there's something there where, like Diablito says, Fucking Productions having a party in Vegas, Mutant Cartel likes their events. Like we had Fucking Saturday, Fucking Productions was at that. Like there's been a lot of, historically, there was a lot of events we got excited, we had a lot of fun at. And maybe it's just me. Maybe it's because I didn't go to Singapore for Token 2049. I didn't go to NFT NYC this year. So maybe it's a me thing, but I think there's
NYC early. I mean, it was fine. It was kind of like, I feel like your point you're making though is salient, man. Like, and sorry to jump on you there, but I think like you're cooking, and I think that's probably part of the why I'm feeling the way I feel. I mean, I went to NFT NYC, but I was doing a lot of travel that month and had a lot going on. I jumped out a day early. I switched my flight. And part of it was like I had to travel to Seattle with my mom for some health stuff that she was doing. And then I had to do NFT NYC. And then at the end of the month, I was going, on a family thing. But like, yeah, I think part of it is like, we used to have 3 or 4 times a year when we would get together as a space. And it wasn't like you had to spend thousands of dollars to go across the world. I know for other people around here it is. And so I'm not trying to be state centric, but like there was options. But like, yeah, I mean, I went to Paris and I went to NFT NYC. I think that's it. And I didn't go to Basel last year. May or may not go to Basel this year. Like
I didn't realize this got me feeling away. Absolutely, my lack of human connection for my friends in this space. It's not something like, oh, I need to hang out with my Web3 friends today. But February was a long time ago. And it's something that I enjoy. It's something that is fun. And every time I go to one of these, Steve, if I've been to a dozen, 12 out of 12, I come out of it thinking, wow, crypto, Web3, and specifically our niche corner of it is so much bigger than crypto Twitter. It's so different than crypto Twitter. It's not just about the KOLs and the shit posters. There's a lot of amazing people that I really enjoy interacting with. And, I've well documented here. I basically faded all my group chats. So it's like there's our regulars here on Coffee with Captain. Very grateful for all of you. Please don't take this the wrong way. I have a lot of friends that don't tune in every day, whether it's a different part of the world, the time doesn't work. If they're not here, if they're not in the war room, I may see them once a year. And again, that's okay. But I believe that was a lot of the fun in 21, 22. And it's just kind of an unlock for me connecting some of these dots. I think it directly correlates to this sense of like a boredom or lull in the market is less of a focus on bringing the community together in person than we might have had in the past. And to this, I said I want to get back to Adeka. Says Azuki just hired DGTL as new head of community, and it already feels like the local activations are in the pipeline. This is what every community needs, in his opinion. 100 small events around the world, much better than a very big party most can't attend. To which I say both. I say fan the flames of those local community events and still have whether they're going for the flagpole events at major crypto conferences or they have their own thing like Ape Fest. I think you can do both, especially when you lean into sponsors who listen. Again, I'm trying to choose my words carefully because I don't want this to come across or be taken out of context. If the two of us can do fun things with sponsors and get whether it's our badge collecting challenge that we're going to give away thousands of dollars on Thursday, whether it's Death.Fun, whether it's the Beezy Claw Pool, you can't tell me that these multi-million dollar, $100 million plus brands can't do the same thing on a much larger scale.
Yeah,
a little bit of
I agree, and I think that I just think there's opportunity there. Let's get Joey in here before I respond because I know Joey's been waiting for a hot minute. Joey, get back in here.
It's funny because before you guys got on this topic of IRL events, and we were talking about like why does the space feel the way it does, I was going to ask if it's because the IRL events have gotten kind of stale. Because I felt the same way as you guys. But to go back to your point, I do think there's a difference between what you guys were describing with like this membership director and an events person. Like, I don't necessarily believe that your membership director would have the same skills as your event planner or event coordinator or whatever you want to call it. Because having worked with a lot of music festivals and nightclubs and events in Miami, the individual who's out front, of those events, like the face of those events, that's welcoming people, that everybody knows, they're going to see there, is not the person that's behind the scenes, that's locking up the sponsorships, that's securing the talent, all that stuff. So I think you need both. I think you need to hire somebody that can be the front facing, whether it's on spaces, on podcasts, welcoming people out front, that everybody recognizes and knows. And then you also need that person behind the scenes that knows how to secure sponsorships, knows how to lock up venues, knows how to run these events. Because you could, hypothetically speaking, offer that event planning person a very low salary and then a percentage on what they raised for the event, right? So like, hey, if you raise $500,000 in sponsorships, and the event only cost us $250,000, we'll give you 10% or 20% of the net, and that's your pay. And then every time they do an event, they're getting paid based on how many sponsorships, how much the event makes, et cetera, et cetera. So they're motivated to actually put in the work and do this, because there really shouldn't be a single event in this space that isn't sponsored and isn't a revenue generating source for these projects. There's enough money going around with all of these protocols and dApps and et cetera, that you could get sponsorships, especially if you're a well-known project. But I do think you probably need two people, not one person to do both. I would wager there's a lot of opportunity that's being missed, like you said, like the Frank D. God's example, with these projects to make money on these larger events, or using the money from those larger events, to your point, Cap, funding smaller events all around the country, all around the world, that holders can attend once a quarter or whatever it is. So that's my take on that.
I hear your take, and it's fair. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think a good front person could do both. And again, just having, I can't say I did it myself in the past. I did have a very good executive assistant who helped with a lot of the logistics and back and forth and putting things over the goal line. But I don't think it's that difficult for the same person to do both of those things you just described, especially if we're talking bootstrap budget or we don't have a budget for this. But I love your idea of like, hey, we'll give you a small stipend plus a percentage of all the funds you bring in.
Yeah, it's
And you're essentially motivating that individual to go out and make the event successful. And if they're not, they don't get paid, right? Like, so if you don't raise enough sponsorships, if you don't sell enough tickets, if you whatever it is, and the event doesn't make money, then you don't get paid, which is fair because the point of the event is to make money.
Yeah, I think that there's, I mean, I generally agree. I think that there's a lot of like, I think there's a lot of models you can go for it. I think to the point you're making though, I think a lot of people are feeling some type of way about the market right now. And, one way or another, whether it's the farms, whether it's other things. And I do think those IRL events did give a little bit of a bridge to feel better about it. It gave you the opportunity to talk to builders and people who are working. And I do think that that would probably ease it. And again, like even with Basel this year, I don't know, like probably going to go to Basel, but like, I'm sure something to be done. But it's like, do I want to, like, when you're an entrepreneur, you're paying your own money. When you're doing, you're paying your own money to go places. Am I looking to spend, the cost of a plane ticket to Miami, the cost of a hotel in Miami during Basel, if there isn't tangibly business for it to be done down there or something I really want to attend? And I just don't know. And, it might just be like, okay, well, Ape Fest is my thing this year. Excited to do that. Excited to go after Ape Fest. And then, on to next year, basically, because I'm not positive I'm going. And last year, I didn't regret not going. I didn't regret not going to Basel. Like, it was the right move for me to cancel. I could take a trip with my wife in November or even early December during that time frame instead, if I wanted to, and equally spend the money and, potentially get more value out of it. So that's what I'm looking for some of these, companies. And you want people to be in your club. You want people to talk about your club, give them a reason to talk. And this is not a knock on any one individual brand. Like we said, like we're obviously Apes and we're stoked for Ape Fest. Can't come soon enough. We are stoked for, Basel if we go, but like, it's like, it's like, there's gotta be reasons and things that you want to do. And you talk about sponsoring, it's like, and who knows, we think they might be announcing a token, but like, Moonbirds is doing Burb Holla, sponsored by Solana. Like a lot of these protocols and people have money out there for the taking and for the opportunity. So even just co-sponsoring an event, like I when I worked at OCM, we just duel up an event with like another company and they would help cover costs or they would cover costs. Like it's doable. It's doable. And Cap, get your thoughts on that. Then I probably need to jump here in a minute because I do have a 10 o'clock. So I want to make sure I get out of here with a couple minutes to do a mobile stream drop followed by that. Actually, I'll do that now and I'll hand it back to you and hand you back the mic.
Yeah, I was just going to share. Yes, Von Frunten Ape Fest 2022 was sponsored by Polygon. I just actually pinned their like recap post up to the top. I was thinking there was some other sponsors, but it looks like Polygon was the title sponsor for sure. And yeah, a lot of love in throughout, like logos throughout everywhere. They gave them love in the pre and post tweets talking about Ape Fest. And yeah, that was absolutely a thing in 2022. I don't remember if I unfortunately missed last year. I don't remember if there was a sponsor in Hong Kong. Maybe a couple of like smaller sponsors, if I'm thinking right. Like maybe they kind of sponsored some of the side events. I don't think they had a title sponsor like they did in 2021, but I don't remember. Did they have any sponsors at Lisbon last year, Steve?
I don't recall, honestly. I'm not sure, but yeah, I don't know. It's a fascinating thing. And it's like, it doesn't have to be a total cost center. And I just think like I think IRL events and super miss VCon. Like I love VCon. I went to every single VCon and I had the time of my life at all three. And it's just every single one for a different reason was exciting. So yeah, I mean, like, and like, again, Von Front series, like, I love the idea. I've never been to Basel, love the idea of going, but I can never find enough reason to spend the money. And like, I know for you, Cap, it's like, a car ride and it's not quite as there, but it's like, yeah, it's like, for me, it's like, do I want to like change planes to go place to place to place to place? I don't know. Like, it's just, there's, I don't know. There's a lot there. So I think we've been saying it for years, and I don't know if anybody cares enough because it's not the revenue generating area of the business. You got to tie certain things, but it's like a membership director who really truly understands the community not just a community leader, not just like a community mod, but like a membership director. And then that person empowered with a budget to put on events at, call it 4 crypto conferences and like 5 local events around the world at a certain level. And their job is to get sponsors. Their job is to organize. Their job is to be creative. Because I just think that creativity is an underrated aspect of like, again, like I don't want to necessarily just go to like a loud DJ party with like a, you know, semi-famous band playing. Like, take me on a walking food tour of Miami. Have me try some of the local things there. Like, and have a organized slots where you buy out a company for like company slots for, you know, 3-4 days in a row, and people can sign up for slots to get the opportunity with their friends and shuffle in and out. Like, I just think there's so many things like that that exist that like you can do in a local city. I'm sure there are things to do in Vegas. Like, people could go to the friggin', I don't know, like there's probably things to do in the Area 51 tour. I don't know. Like, there's things you could do.
I'm laughing because you've rubbed off on me so much hosting this show for nearly 1,000 episodes that I'm now dating the female version of you. She thinks she feels about the same about American Airlines as you do.
Good. She's she sounds like a great woman as far as like her tastes and preferences. Also,
last, I know you got to get out of here. Last one, just quick shout out to TMA, loyal listener to the show. Said this yesterday, and I think it's spot on for our conversation this morning. Giving feedback doesn't mean FUD. Holding teams accountable doesn't mean FUD. Openly discussing key issues doesn't mean FUD. Just because someone doesn't bull push your bags doesn't mean the extreme opposite. We need to really normalize being able to talk about these kind of issues. I agree wholeheartedly. We talk about it. We provide ideas, thoughts, sometimes suggestions because we care, not because we're fudding. It's just we you know, I personally want to be better today than I was yesterday. I want to be better this year than I was last year. And hopefully these brands also strive for continual improvement. And we're just talking through some things that may help. Take it or leave it. But I think there is a consensus that the in real life events are impactful and powerful, and there's a ways to do it at a cost neutral or even a profit center.
Yeah, with you. I got to jump. Do you want to end it right here?
Yeah, go for it.
Awesome. Well, thanks to everyone who came through this morning. Good topic, good conversation overall. Really enjoyed the conversation. We will talk to everybody bright and early tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Eastern time. Last show before 1,000 tomorrow. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, everybody.
Thanks for tuning into Coffee with Captain, powered by ApeCoin. We hope you enjoyed the show, and remember, nothing we discussed today is financial advice. Until next time, keep exploring, stay curious, and we'll see you soon. Have a great day.
Welcome to the future.